As you can probably tell from all this stuff here in the background, I like analog gear. I was looking into adding a tape delay into this setup, but it might be that I don't need that anymore because Slate Digital just released the Stellar Echo SD-201, which is basically doing the exact same thing as a certain very famous analog delay, but then with a lot of added bells and whistles. So let's go check out what those features are. Let's dive right in. I've got the Stellar Echo SD-201 over here with the lid removed because now you can see the tape flowing, I guess. So the big thing is this mode selector over here, and let's just go through that. Let's start with 1. What an analog echo is definitely not going to tell you is the note value of the delay time. So this is a 16th note delay. Okay, number 2 is a 8th note. Okay, 8th dotted. And then number 4 is an 8th note and dotted 8th note. So that is 2 heads. Here is the housing with the heads and everything. So 8th note and dotted 8th note. Creating a nice pattern already. And now we're getting into reverb echo. So there's also a reverb built in over here. So you've got the echo side, the delay side, and you've got a reverb side. You can hear that spring reverb going now. So you've got a 16th note delay and a spring reverb over there. Then 6 gives you an 8th note with the spring reverb. So it's actually feeding from the delay. So you've got the first initial 8th note gap before the first delay actually doesn't have a spring reverb. That's cool. Mode 7 is a dotted 8th note with a spring again. Almost looks like the trick I normally do with an Echo Boy and then my vocal reverb, where I set up the Echo Boy to take care of the pre-delay and then sync the pre-delay to the tempo, and then it goes into the reverb. So I could do what otherwise would take me 2 plugins right in this one plugin. That's great. Mode 8 is a 16th and 8th note and a spring. 9 is 8 and 8th dotted, so the same as before but then with a spring. 16 and 8th dotted. And now we've got 3 heads. So 16, 8th note, and a dotted 8th note. Let's see what kind of pattern this is going to create. That's cool. And then last but not least, you get the reverb only. So now you can see that the tape head values are gone and it's just the spring reverb. But where is it? Where is it? Huh? Reverb only, but we are not getting reverb. Huh? Do we have a bug? Is that because the source is coming from echo here? Input, echo, both. So you've got input, that is the input. And then you've got the echo, so what we had just now where it didn't respond to the initial sound, but it did respond to the first echo. And both is, I guess, the input directly and then also the echo. So what we need is just the input. Okay, and then we get spring, a plate, a chamber, and a hole. Oh, we've got a lot of not available. Is that going to be... Maybe that means that we're getting the ability to upgrade later on and we get different types of reverbs. Let's hear what the reverbs sound like. Spring, what you've been hearing, plate, chamber, and a hole. Okay, so if we set it up to do the reverb echo and then set the source to input over here, it just straight away does the reverb. If we do the echo, it should leave a little bit of a gap before it does the reverb. Yes. And then both should do both. Ooh, that's cool. This is something I very often do with my delays and reverbs, is that I feed delays into reverbs and reverbs into delays. And now you can do all of that within this plugin. You can't feed the reverb into the delay, but you can feed the delay into the reverb. So you can do that stuff in this plugin, and I think that is really cool. And then a feature that this plugin has is the ability to create custom positions for the tape heads. And now you're also not only getting 3 tape heads as with the mode selector over here, but you get 4 tape heads. So you can create even crazier patterns. Let's see what kind of weird patterns we can make. We've got a 16th, an 8th note dotted, a quarter note, and a half note delay. Let's pan this to the left, pan that to the right, pan this hard left, and pan that hard right. Let's see what it does. Well, it's very boring what I'm playing, I know, but this way we can actually really hear what's going on inside of the plugin. It already creates a sort of a rhythm that I believe you cannot really do with the hardware piece. Over here you see the repeat rate master knob, or I don't know how you want to call it, but basically you can change the overall timing of the delays. So over here you've got the 1/16th, the triplet, the dotted, and then it goes to 1/8. But actually here you can move all of those over one step. It was 1/16th, now it becomes dotted 32nd note, and then it's 1/8 triplet, and it becomes a 1/8 note, and you can find new rhythms. I can also slow it down. So you can hear that iconic tape slowing down effect as well, that takes the pitch down. So you could also automate that and actually get some tape slowing down effects inside of your delays. I think that is really a really fun thing to play with. And then next to that you get the feedback, so how many times it feeds the signal back into the playhead and plays it again through the record heads that make the actual echo. And then you get the echo level. So you've got echo level, reverb level. Quite easy. As we just saw, you can also just use it in reverb only mode. So here on the drums, for example, I can just play with it and add a little bit of spring reverb to it, or a plate reverb to it. So let's see how that works for us. That's dope. Nice, short chamber. I really like that. I don't know if this is usable, but it's a very fun sounding, weird sounding thing. And then another feature I really like about the Space Echo over here is that you get an FX input mute. And with that you can mute the input coming into the Stellar Echo. So if we just mute all of this all the time, we just get the drop. Now I can automate it in a way that on the snare on the 4th beat, I actually unmute the input. So now I don't get any reverb. But where I unmute it, it is going to let the reverb pass through. Normally what you would need to do is set up a send, and then on that send add the stellar echo, and then you can automate that in, so it sends the signal from the track to the auxiliary into the stellar echo, and then we finally. But with the stellar echo, you just need to automate the FX input mute parameter. So it's a lot easier. One thing I want to try on the bass over here is that if we add the stellar echo and then set it to free and then go to custom, we get milliseconds over here. So let's take off these 3 other heads, and then we can take it down millisecond wise, take down the reverb level. Now because it's a tape that is constantly moving and we've got the wow and flutter over here, and if we just yank that all the way to 100%, could we get a sort of chorus effect because we get a slight delay and it is moving back and forth because this tape is speeding up and down, because that's what wow and flutter does. So if we put that to 100%, and then we get a little bit of a slap delay going, let's see if we can create some sort of a chorus. I think that's pretty cool. Another thing you can do, which the bass also might be a good example for, is the echo width over here. So next to the normal mode, the ping pong mode, which is a ping pong setting, and the swap mode, you get the echo width. And the echo width is for mono sources, which this bass is right now. And you can actually make the delay wider. So let's see how it makes it wider. Okay, let's see what the stereo image is telling us over here. If we take it all the way down, we just get a mono line. And then add the echo width. Oh, it's making it wide. This could be cool for my vocal slap delays, because I usually do like a stereo slap delay around 80 milliseconds, but then the left is 78 milliseconds and the right is 83 milliseconds. I'm just saying random numbers, but something like that. And this could actually do exactly that, because sometimes I also just want it to be mono, just right there. So I could set it to like 80 milliseconds and then use the echo width tool to make it a little bit wider.
I love it when you touch my face. Tell me I'm the one that's on your mind.
At the width.
I love it when you call me baby girl and say that I'm your one. You can have it. I love it when you touch my face. Tell me I'm the one that's on your mind. I love it when you call me baby girl and say that I'm your one. You can have it. I love it when you touch my face. Tell me I'm the one that's on your mind.
I like that a lot. I think I'm going to put that in my template. Okay, then the last tiny section I forgot to mention is the echo isolation. So you can use a high pass filter, low pass filter, or if you want to call it low cut, high cut, be my guest, and a bass and a treble for the delay and the reverb. So you can blend it in and have some tonal controls. We all know what that does, so I am not going to dive into that for now. And you've got the clean and the noise. Now I tried to see if we actually get noise like you get with Waves H delay, for example. You need to turn that noise off, because otherwise at the end of your mix you just have a bunch of hiss, and then you figure out that it is the 10H delays that are on analog 2. Here it doesn't seem that prominent. This is my speakers turned all the way up. It's very scary to do, but I'm not hearing that noise, so I don't think the noise is that prominent in this plugin. I think that is everything on this plugin. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please leave a like down below and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It helps me a lot. If you want to learn more about recording, mixing and audio in general, you can hit the join button down below. That takes you to the Virtual Internship. You'll find a collection of exclusive members only videos about recording and mixing. I'll see you on the next one. Later!